Republicans in the state of Texas have introduced legislation at the state level that would create a 9-member commission that would essentially be in charge of providing propaganda for schools across the state. So what is this propaganda they're going to be spreading? Well, it's going to be patriotic propaganda, talking about how the United States, and of course specifically Texas, has just been kick-ass and wonderful since it joined the Union here in the United States. This is what they're calling the 1836 Project, which is ironic because, 1836 is basically where they're pulling the educational standards from in the state of Texas at this point. That's how archaic this law is. Here's what it does. House Bill 2497 seeks to establish the Texas 1836 Project, in which a 9-person committee would, quote, promote patriotic education and, quote, advise the governor on the core principles of the founding of this state and how those principles further enrich the lives of its residents. So basically turning history classes in the state of Texas into nothing more than propaganda. Overlooking the fact that Texas was a slave state, and in the 3 decades prior to the Civil War, they saw their slave population explode from 50,000 to 180, or 5,000 to 182,000. Of course, like I mentioned, they fought for the Confederacy. They had a history of segregation and discrimination, still do to this day. I mean, that's one of the reasons the Voting Rights Act was gutted, was because of the state of Texas. And here they are, trying to quite literally whitewash their history because they want people to be proud of Texas. Listen, you can be proud of where you came from, absolutely. But you can't actually be proud of where you're from if you don't understand where you're from. And that's honestly just a small piece of it. The real point of this legislation would be to create a generation that is essentially dumb as rocks. Because if you grow up thinking that racism never really existed in the United States, or that slavery wasn't all that bad, or that Texas was somehow treating slaves better than everybody else, you're going to hold that with you, and you're going to go out into the world thinking, you know what? All these people saying systemic racism is real, they're lying. All these people saying slavery is bad, they're lying. They don't know the truth. I know the truth. There is no racism here in the United States, and that's what Texas is trying to foster in these children. It is indoctrination, the same kind of indoctrination that Republicans whine about all the time, allegedly coming from liberals in academia, yet here they are in the state of Texas trying to codify it into their state laws. This is Hattie. Hattie wants to know why you have not subscribed to our channel. You obviously like our videos, so do us a favor and subscribe.